Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ujuola for Mindset Transformation Africa. And on today's episode, I want to talk about a particular cliche that we've repeated over time. I just want to bring a new twist into the conversation. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. If you cannot see light at the end of the tunnel, it is because the tunnel is curved. The light is at the end of the curve, and that is the learning curve. If you cannot see light at the end of the tunnel, it is because the tunnel is curved. The light is at the end of the curve, and that is the learning curve. Now, I want you to think about it for a moment, because this statement is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a mindset correction. It is a mindset correction that I want us to have, and so let's just go into it. Let's begin here, all right? Many of us are frustrated in life not because there is no light at the end of the tunnel, but because we falsely believe the tunnel is straight. We expect linearity. We assume that from the moment we step into a process, we should immediately be able to see the result of that process, from application to promotion, from pain to purpose, from failure to success. Fast, clear, straight, obvious. But here's the reality. The tunnel is not straight. It is curved. And that particular curve is what is called the learning curve. And if you're going to make it through the tunnel, you've got to make it around that particular learning curve. It is not a matter of if there is light. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But the light shows up after the curve. But the problem is we often give up in the middle of the curve. See, you need to understand the curve. What is the curve? The curve is that awkward stretch between where you started and where you are going. It is the part of the process where things feel uncertain, confusing, dark, delayed, or difficult. It is where your work doesn't match your reward, at least not yet. Where your questions outnumber your answers, where your energy outweighs your encouragement. The curve is learning how to be consistent when you are not seeing the fruit, building when you feel alone, practicing discipline when applause is absent, making right choices with no immediate outcome, investing in your future when your present is still lacking. That is the curve. And curves don't feel good, all right? See, they feel confusing. They feel very confusing. So I'm telling you today, do not quit in the curve. Let me just tell you something that is raw. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they quit too early in the curve. The curve is the test, all right? It is where your trust is forged. It is where your maturity is born. The curve doesn't mean failure. It means development. But when we equate confusion with conclusion, we tap out too early. Just because you cannot see the light doesn't mean there is no light. It just means you are not there yet. Stay the course. See, the curve is a part of the design. It is not the enemy. It is the educator. It is the teacher. The curve is not just a delay. I call it a download. It is a download. That is what I want us to shift our mind on today. See, most of us hate waiting, and I'm with you. I hate waiting too. But what if the curve was not just slowing you down? It is loading you up. You know that spinning wheel on your phone or your computer where when something is buffering? That is how life feels sometimes. You're stuck in the spinning, but sometimes the spinning is the downloading. The curve is where character is downloaded. Patience is downloaded. Clarity is downloaded. Purpose is downloaded. Fulfillment is downloaded. Discipline is downloaded, and that download cannot be skipped. You cannot fast track the curve, because what you skip in development will show up later as a deficit. It is the learning curve, not the learning shortcut, the learning curve. The delay is doing more than you know. The delay is helping you more than you know. Stay long enough in that particular curve to grow. See, faith and frustration can coexist. And that is what I want us to be honest about. Being in the curve is not fun. All right, you can believe in the light and still feel the weight of the darkness. That is real. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything with you. That is real. It is okay to feel frustrated. It is okay to feel tired. What is not okay is to assume that your frustration means you have failed. You can have faith and feelings at the same time. They are not enemies. They are companions in the curve. Your job is not to erase frustration. Your job is to not let it drive you. A pilot doesn't cancel the flight just because clouds are blocking the view of the sun. No, they fly through it. They fly through it. Why? Because they know above the clouds, the sun is still shining. Same thing for you. Your emotions may cloud the view, but the light still exists. You just have not hit the right angle yet. Curves require curved thinking. One of the biggest shifts you will need to make in the tunnel is mental flexibility. Straight line thinkers struggle in curved spaces. If you are someone who needs immediate clarity, instant proof, or constant certainty, the curve will frustrate you because curves require curved thinking. And I mean curved thinking, what I mean by that is adaptable thinking. You need faith-based vision, not fear-based control. You have to be able, and let me say it like this, you have to be okay with not knowing everything. You have to believe before you see. You have to keep showing up without immediate return because curved tunnels are navigated with curved thinking. And curved thinking, which is adaptable thinking, flexible thinking, is rooted in trust, not just logic. Trust. See, everyone's tunnel is different. And I need to say that. That's another truth bomb I want you to take away. Everyone's tunnel is different. You don't compare your tunnel to someone else. It doesn't make sense. You might look at someone else and say, wow, they got there so fast. They saw the light so early. But you don't know the shape of their tunnel. Maybe their tunnel had fewer curves but deeper dips. Maybe yours is longer but more stable. Maybe theirs has sudden turns and yours is slow and gradual. Point is, comparison is foolish in the tunnel. Focus on your own feet, on your own curve. Own your curve. Master your path. Do you understand me? Because the only way to reach your light is to walk your own curve. See, you need to know that there is something you have to become. Who you become on the curve matters more than what you achieve. That's a legacy talk right there. We spend so much time chasing the light, the breakthrough, the platform, the promotion, the answer, that we forget the curve is where we are actually being formed to be a better human being. Let me say this clearly. The value of the tunnel is not just in what you reach, but in who you become on the way. All right, let me say that again. The value of the tunnel is not just in what you reach or what you achieve, but in who you become on the way. That humility you gain while waiting, that grit you build while pushing through silence, that clarity you develop in solitude, that discernment you develop in crisis, that is the gift of the curve. So, don't resent the darkness. It is where your light gets built. See, light will find you. Only if you keep moving. Light will find you. That is your encouragement for today. Just keep moving. Even if you cannot see where it is leading, keep moving. Even if you don't feel the progress, keep moving. Even if the curve is tight and you feel disoriented and constricted, keep moving. Movement matters, all right? Sometimes the breakthrough is not about speed, it is about direction. You don't have to move fast, you just have to move forward, step by step, day by day, brick by brick, thought by thought, idea by idea, eventually the angle will shift, the curve will open, and the light will break in. But the light only finds those who don't stop working. So let me recap this. Let me just say this. If you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel, it is not because the light doesn't exist. It is because the tunnel is curved. The light is real. It is just beyond the bend. Your curve has a purpose and your feet has a calling. So get up, keep walking.